Yo, this your boy JT, and I'm back with another video, yo. And this video is gonna be about December 14th, Showtime Championship Boxing. Adrien Broner versus Maidana, and Keith Thurman versus Soto Karass. Both these fights were originally supposed to be on pay-per-view, but due to certain events, this fight got put back onto regular television. And thank God for that, because I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't have bought the pay-per-view. I personally would have, just because I support boxing and the sport. But yeah, there's also Leo Santa Cruz versus, I don't even know who he's fighting actually, but Leo Santa Cruz is going to be on the card, and the return of Victor Ortiz, who was supposed to fight Carlos Molina, but it got rejected by the IBF. Then he was supposed to fight the contender. I can't even remember his name. The guy, Alfonso Gomez. Yeah, Alfonso Gomez. And he broke his hand as of yesterday, and that fight has been called off. So now the two main fights we're left with is Soto Karass versus Keith Thurman. We'll start with that fight. We'll start with Keith Thurman versus Soto Karass. Soto Karass is coming off a very impressive victory versus Adrien broner. Knockout victory, actually. He stopped Berto in the 12th round, even though Berto basically fought, more than half the fight with one arm, and was winning on the scorecards. Shouts out Al Heyman. But he still got the stoppage. Shouts out Berto for that performance. I don't think people give him any credit for that, but the dude fought a whole fight with one arm, so that's just crazy. But anyway, yeah, he's coming off that victory. I think he's won his last 4 or 5 fights actually, and he's actually on a roll. Well, ever since he got stopped by Maidana, who was in the main event here. But Soto Karass, this guy is a warrior. He's going up against Keith one-time Thurman. I've been very critical of Keith Thurman, but as in with all my videos, I keep it partial and I keep it boxing. It's not whether you like a guy or whether you like the way his career is going or what race a certain guy is or where this guy's from. It's about boxing. So yeah, he's 21-0 with 19 KOs, I believe. I don't have the forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't have the actual box rec or his record in front of me right now. I'm on my way to work, but yeah, that's his record. He's coming off a victory against Diego Chavez, who I think Chavez was outboxing him at the beginning of the fight. Thurman made an adjustment, and he started boxing more, and he got Diego out of there with a devastating body shot to start it off, and then he got him out of there in the 10th round. So this is probably going to be his toughest challenge to date, as Soto Karass is a tough son of a bitch, man. He's not going to lay down. He's going to come bring the fight to Thurman. This fight most likely won't go the distance. I don't see this fight going the distance. I want to go with Thurman, but you just never know. I mean, he never really been in with that type of competition. I mean, not to say that Soto Karass, he has man, I don't even know how many losses. He has at least 9 losses. So I mean, is it really a step up? Soto Karass being the hardest challenge for you should say a lot. It's just that Soto Karass is kind of hot at the time, so, and he's an exciting fighter, so both these guys are exciting fighters. Like I said, I see a stoppage in this fight. I lean towards Keith Thurman, but you can't count out Soto Karass, man. Every time he gets counted out, he comes back. So, I see Keith Thurman winning by late stoppage. Soto Karass has a chin. He's very game. If Soto can take his punch, then Thurman might be in some deep, deep trouble because, he was getting beat up by Chavez, and I think Soto Karass has a little bit better understanding of the game and a little bit better, more experienced than Diego Chavez. No knock against Chavez, but that was his first fight in the U.S., so, it's kind of... it's kind of tough to give a guy credit, even though, Chavez was undefeated. But, I see Thurman winning by late stoppage, but I wouldn't be surprised if he lost the fight. I know it's a lot of people who, put Thurman on this pedestal. But at the end of the day, Thurman, like I said, 746 times before. Keith Thurman has never won a world title. Well, actually, he actually is the interim WBA titleist, actually. So, well, he won an interim title against Chavez, I guess. I mean, if you want to give him credit for that. But, I mean, look who he's fought, For anyone who sit here and say that this guy is legitimate competition for Floyd Mayweather, I mean, like I said, you lose all credibility. You know what I mean? I mean, Thurman is a up and coming contender, and to sit here and say that he's even in the same breath as a Floyd Mayweather, you lose all credibility because he's not, and he has done nothing to say that he is. If he's a good fighter, a boxer, puncher, Floyd just beat Canelo Alvarez, who was a much bigger, a much stronger, much more accomplished boxer, puncher who would destroy Keith Thurman. So, that's just my thoughts on it. I have a video up here about Keith Thurman. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on Keith Thurman, watch the video. But anyway, Keith Thurman to win by late stoppage. Now let's go on to the main event. Adrien broner versus Marcos El Chino Maidana. I'm actually a Maidana fan. I like Maidana, man. He brings it every single time he fights. He's always in exciting fights. He has a very impressive resume. He's been in there with all different types of fighters. He's been in there with brawlers. He's been in there with punchers. He's been in there with boxers. He's been in there with slick guys. You name it, the guy has fought it. So you got to give the guy credit. And he's going up against Adrien broner. This is going to be Adrien broner's hardest fight. Adrien broner's coming off of the victory with Paulie Malignaggi. But, everyone knows that's the definition of a hand-picked opponent. Not taking nothing away from Paulie Malignaggi, but they knew that... Let me turn my AC down. They knew that Paulie was, basically the weakest set of champions at welterweight. But, Paulie, again, he's a tough competitor. He has a very strong resume. He's been in there with all different types of guys, so you can't say that he's a bum. He's a two-time world champion, and he just won a split decision against Paulie, which I didn't think he was impressive in that victory. I think he was disinterested in the fight because he knew that Paulie couldn't hurt him. If Paulie had punching power, that fight probably would have went a different way. But anyway, he's going against El Chino Maidana, who's coming off a knockout victory of Josecito Lopez. Maidana pretty much went in there and made easy work of Lopez, You know, Lopez landed some shots. Lopez is game, man. He's a tough competitor. He landed some shots against Canelo as well. He broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. So that's another guy who won't lay down. So how I see this fight going, I see Broner winning. But if I was a betting man, I would pick Broner to win by decision, hedge with Maidana by knockout. I don't see Broner knocking out Maidana. I don't see Broner walking through Maidana. I mean, Maidana's been in there with bigger punchers. He's been in there with, he's been in there with a lot of different type styles, So, he's been in there with boxers. He's been in there with the Devin Alexanders of the world. So I don't see Broner walking through Maidana like a lot of you people think. If he does win, I think he'll win on a split decision. I see Broner winning by split decision against Maidana. Maidana is tough, and we don't know if Broner can actually take a punch from a guy who's a devastating knockout artist like a Maidana. Yes, he is one-dimensional. Yes, he doesn't have the best boxing ability, but at the end of the day, he has that equalizer. And we don't know how Broner can take it. And from his actions of late, the threesomes and the raw dog and the strippers, we don't know where his head is, So I wouldn't be surprised if Broner gets knocked out. But I do think he's going to go life and death with Maidana. Maidana's a tough son of a bitch. And I don't see Broner making easy work of Maidana, no. Broner's good, but Styles makes fights. I think you need to be more of a mover to make easy work of a Maidana. And a guy who's going to stand in the pocket with Maidana, I don't know about his chances, Maidana has been knocking out guys bigger than Broner. Even though Broner looks out of shape and very fat. But we'll just have to see. So my pick is Keith Thurman by late stoppage and Adrien Broner by split decision. But I would not be surprised if any of those fights went the other way. Especially the Broner-Maidana, because we just don't know with Broner. And, well, Thurman too. We don't know. We don't know how, even though that's pretty much the best fighter Thurman's been in as well. So it's going to be a good fight. Plus the return of Victor Ortiz, I'm kind of interested to see that, even though they'll probably throw him in there with a bum, just to see if he's in shape or whatnot. I hear he's out there calling out Canelo Alvarez, who I think would destroy him. But anyway, this your boy JT. Just giving you guys another video. Peace out, man.